Hi and welcome to another tutorial of LEANalyser version 2.1. Today we will show you how to combine data from different sources in LEANalyser with two examples. Here is our agenda. The first example will be on loading data from a web page in HTML format to get daily currency rates for our list analysis, and the second will be on adding multiple data sources in the time analysis to find correlations between sales and temperature. Let's start by opening up our demo database. So to remind you, we have order data for different clients in the different countries, and as the order values are in local currencies, we'll need to transform all of them but one to make them comparable. For instance, the orders in Swedish crowns. To do so, we will need currency exchange rates. Let's get that from Nordea's website. Here we have a table listing all the different currency rates, so let's just drag and drop it into LEANalyser and see what we get. I can now modify the name of the table, the column names, and delete unnecessary information. When I'm satisfied with this table, I can apply the changes to the database. Now, let's go back to the order table and define a relation between the order table and the currency rates. This can be done by linking the currency field with the ISO code in the currency rates table. We directly see that we've got a bunch of codes in red, broken links, which means that no match could be done on that code. When thinking about it, obviously Swedish crowns have no match as it's the currency we are relating to and it isn't present in the currency rate table. Let's add it anyway to get a nice proper relation. It can be done by editing directly in the table. You can modify, delete and update at any time. So we add Sweden, the currency code, and the rate to be 1, and we apply our modifications. Let's go back to the order table again, and now we see that the broken links for the Swedish orders are gone. The next step is to add a new field which will transform the order value in local currency to the order value in Swedish crowns. We set it to be numerical and with 2 decimals. We add a calculation and by right-clicking we get access to the different fields and functions. In our case, it's a simple multiplication between the order value and the currency rate. All orders have now been translated into Swedish crowns. And for instance, we have that this Danish order was about 180 Danish crowns, which equals 255 Swedish crowns. Now it's time to make our analysis. We'll go for a pivot analysis as we want to aggregate sales over different countries. We'll put the category to be country. For the values, we'll select our new field, order value in Swedish crowns, and we're interested in the sum of these. Let's sort the values so that we get the sales in descending order. When I look at the result, I can conclude that some countries are actually missing. I know that orders have been placed by Norwegian and Swiss customers. Let's once again go back to the order table to try to understand why these orders haven't been included. Let's have a look at the currency field and its profile. It says 62 broken links, which means these currencies have no corresponding ISO code. This is a very common situation when trying to join different tables from different data sources. Fortunately, LEANalyser has built-in functionality to overcome this. Let's right-click and select Fix Links. And here we have all the broken links listed. For instance, NKR for Norway, which should be NOK and so on. I can directly choose to adjust these records. By pressing apply, we now see there are no broken links in our database. Going back to our analysis, we directly conclude that Norway and Switzerland have been included in our analysis. And let's have a look at the data as a bar chart. Let's look at all the countries except Sweden and the transactions behind. By right-clicking the bar, we can drill down to have a list analysis for the transactions behind. We can also see when the individual transactions were registered in time. The next task is to study the sales per month and tell if there is any correlation to the outdoor temperature. Let's select a new analysis, a time analysis. It has selected the table to be the order table by default and the periodicity to be months. The measure is the sum of the order values, which corresponds to the total sales, so that is perfect. Let's restrict the analysis to consider only some years, 2012 to 2015. As I wish to study the relation between sales and outdoor temperature, I can drag and drop another data file with temperature data from Stockholm, let's say. This file contains about 95,000 records. I'll modify the column names and take away these two fields as they are unnecessary. Let's go back to the analysis and create another data source for the weather data. The date field remains, but this time let's get the temperatures on a daily basis. We create a new measure for temperature and we set it to be the average, as we can have several measurements of temperature per day in our data. Let's look at it as a line chart and with a secondary axis to adapt the scale. We directly conclude that there is a negative correlation between sales and temperature seen by its inverse relationship. So, we've now seen how different data sources easily can be combined in LEANalyser without asking a colleague or getting support from the IT department. In this tutorial, only about 95,000 records have been analyzed, but depending on hardware configuration, LEANalyser is capable of analyzing at least 10 billion transactions with good performance, maybe more. Maybe you should try it out yourself. Thank you for listening.